So once upon a time, I had these random matchup battles that I did, and then I did crazy stuff, like crazy stories and stuff like that. And all that stuff, this will not be one of those. This will actually just be me kind of narrating it, commentating it, as there's not much logical thought that actually goes into random matchups, strangely enough. You would think there would be, but really, it's kind of luck of the draw what your opponent picks and what you pick. Honestly, I mean, you can attempt to predict what they're going to pick and stuff like that, but yeah. And you guys can, vote in the comments if I should bring back the crazy stories or actually do, serious type narrations on this stuff. So, Hydreigon is going to be my opponent's lead, and my opponent is from Japan and all Japanese named Pokemon, which is fun. And so I'm going to U-turn, and I'm going to U-turn into Ninetales, because I'm pretty sure Ninetales is probably going to outspeed this Gyarados, unless it's like, max attack, max speed, which actually isn't really that common of a Gyarados, believe it or not. And so I'm going to Will-O-Wisp thinking it's physical, but it turns out it is going to be that special variant of Gyarados. Turns out though, my Ninetales is especially bulky, so I actually take that Hydro Pump especially well. Considering that I'm pretty sure, that it's Choice Spec, I'm going to go with Sludge Bomb, and amazingly, it actually doesn't do that much damage. I thought it'd do a lot more, but, I didn't have a growth up, and I honestly thought about going for a growth. But the risk of this Hydreigon having Fire Blast and outright taking out my Venusaur right away, and basically me not getting any damage off on it, was too great, so that's why I went for the Sludge Bomb. Now, obviously, I'm thinking Ice Shard is a pretty obvious move, so I'm going to switch into Ninetales, and turns out Swords Dance, I guess more or less, for a reason we're going to find out right now. So I'm going to go for the Flamethrower, and guess what? Yeah, look at this. A Focus Sash. Like, who Focus Sashes in the Abomasnow? Apparently, Japanese people do, but whatever. It works, so I'm going to bring down Fernape, and he is going to switch into the Hydreigon. For whatever reason, I guess it's Death Fodder? Or I guess he or she. It could be either one. Considering it's a female sprite, probably it's a girl, but, I do tend to use female sprites in my battles too. So obviously this was an obvious bait that, for whatever reason, I wasn't being bothered to actually wonder if my opponent was going to do what I thought my opponent was going to do. Turns out, yes, that is going to be a thing that happens, believe it or not, and my opponent did exactly what I thought was going to happen, except I didn't do what I knew I should have done. So, I am going to, unfortunately, lose my Venusaur, which actually is potentially going to play a role, and you'll see why in a bit. Because, that extra burn damage might have helped with something, to maybe guarantee a KO so that minimum damage shenanigans would not occur and this Gyarados would survive. Now, it could miss this Hydro Pump, of course, but it's not going to, so I am going to lose in a close 1-0, and in hindsight, I probably should have done what I was thinking I should have done in the first place, which is leave it in Fernape and just go for a Flare Blitz and risk it all for the biscuit, but, Now, my next random matchup battle is going to be a double battle, and I'm going to try and do like 2 or 3 random matchup battles every time I do one of these, because, generally they tend to be fairly short, not being able to use all 6 Pokemon except for in triples, and really triples just take an annoying amount of time. So, as you can see, I'm running, an oddball sort of team, and my opponent is running what seems to be overused Pokemon that don't really have any double team synergy. At least I attempted to make mine sound more double team synergetic, but yeah, whatever. So we're going to see how this goes. So I'm going to lay off with Nidoking and Hariyama, mainly Hariyama because I have Fake Out with Hariyama if I needed it, but seeing as Latias and Tyranitar are going to be the leads, it turns out I'm probably not going to need Fake Out, although I probably could have saved my Nidoking at that point and not lost him right away. So that's disappointing, but I am just going to go for a close combat and obviously take out that Tyranitar, as it does not have a Chople Berry to absorb that close combat quite nicely. Now, the advantage of not going for the Fake Out right away is, basically, I easily took out a Pokemon, and now my Guts is still boosted right there, and I can go for the Bullet Punch and get rid of this Latias, as that Latias is at low enough health that even if it was max defense, max HP, it's still dead anyway. I'm a little bit surprised that Hydreigon is going to survive the Tri-Attack. Probably minimum damage shenanigans there as well. Although I am timid nature, so there is a chance that probably, even though I am Choice Specs adaptability, Tri-Attack, there is a chance that probably that might have been max damage. So now I'm going to bring Endurant, and pretty much, you know, this is actually a pretty straightforward match because I happened to get lucky on what I chose, and pretty much it all counters everything. And I don't think my opponent was that smart. But that is going to be the end of these two random matchup battles. Hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know in the comments below if you would actually like me to attempt to do serious narrations of these, or if you would like me to go back to how I used to do them and do stories. But let me know, and see you guys later.